So winter is coming and we're in Minnesota, and a big Minnesota activity when winter is here is when you go into the sauna and go outside. And there's variations on this, like you go outside and fall in the snow, right? Or you jump into a really cold body of water and then you go back into the sauna. Is there any merit to doing this?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joyce Knieff. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and
And I'm Jordan Knieff. I'm also a naturopathic doctor.
And Dr. Jordan is born and raised in Minnesota, so we're gonna get his perspective on it.
Yeah, so contrast therapy has been done for a really long time in Scandinavia and Germany and a lot of those other like northern European and Scandinavian countries. And when we look at contrast hydrotherapy, which is that going from hot to cold,
Contrast, right? Hot, cold.
the research shows us is that it really helps with kind of vascular response, really like doing exercise for the arteries and veins in the body, right? So as the body gets warmed up, especially if it's really hot, right? Body's response is to send more blood to that area. So if you think about when you get hot, you get flushed.
Right, the little tiny blood vessels all dilate.
Yeah, and that's because bodies are liquid cooled.
Liquid cooled.
Kind of, right, just like a car engine.
That's a good way of putting it.
And so when the skin gets hot, the body sends blood to that area to kind of equalize that temperature, pull the extra heat away, and distribute it throughout the body so that you don't get burned or damaged tissue. And so as we put our skin in hot water, that's the response we're triggering, is opening up all those blood vessels, really drawing in a lot more blood flow to that area.
To like the surface area.
To the skin and things to help cool that down. And then when we go into something cold, whether it be a snowbank or cold water or a lake with a whole head in the ice, right? That's a very different dramatic response that we're telling the body, right? Which is that we're probably going to die. This is a very cold, and we need to conserve heat so that we don't just lose all of our body heat and go down, right? And so the body does that by constricting all the blood vessels, kind of shunting all the blood flow really close to the core, kind of sacrificing the part that's cold or the extremities in general. Because while they are
really dramatic,
they're very nice to have, but they're not essential to life.
Got it.
And so brain, our heart, lungs, right? Those are what we really need to keep warm to survive. And so when we go into the really cold, it pushes the body into that really intense kind of emergency response. And so by alternating between really hot and cold, right, and that really dramatic change in those temperatures, we train the body to be more responsive with blood flow.
Say more.
So if you're someone who gets really hot really easily, right, and it will allow your body to cool itself better in those situations by controlling that blood flow. If you're someone who kind of always has cold hands and feet, especially in the winter time, then that allows your hands and feet to regulate their temperature and be warmer more. And kind of in the background there, right, the kind of avenue that we're really targeting doing this isn't actually the blood vessels, right? It's the nervous system. And so doing the contrast, then there's kind of a term called giving tone to the vagus nerve, right? Which means we're telling the vagus nerve, which is a very important nerve that controls a lot of things in the body, and how to function better and be able to kind of switch between that really intense, fight or flight, we're gonna freeze to death, to we're just really hot, we need to be able to relax, open up blood vessels, things like that. And so that then can translate into more like mental health realms as well. So things like anxiety, stress, all that, it can allow a little better balance.
So basically what you're saying is if we give the body a really extreme way to practice, this is when everything is tight and constricted and like all of your blood is in your core, versus this is a really extreme example of everything is overheating, it's hot, we need to relax everything and just let the heat go from our bodies. Like giving really extreme examples basically helps us training wheel into more of those subtle examples, right? To be better about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is interesting because that just illustrates sort of the importance of training our nervous system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think people get bad at switching
Yeah.
between the two necessary states?
The way you kind of see it most presently in like with patients and things, but also friends, family, and everyone, is just that most people are under chronic stress these days, right? Whether it be money stress or work stress, home life stress,
right?
There's news stress in general.
Yeah.
Like we just get stuck in that stress response, and at some point the body just doesn't kind of forgets how to move away from that, or even if it knows how to, it can always is constantly getting dragged back, right? To worrying about something.
Yeah.
And
so what happens to the physical body when you're worrying?
Yeah. So when we're in that state of stress and worry, it's called what we call the sympathetic side of the nervous system being dominant, which is where cortisol goes up, heart rate goes up, we shunt blood to the core.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole point for the body in that kind of response is to be kind of a wound spring. Yeah. Right? Because there's something in the woods chasing us or whatever it is, and we have to be able to escape and survive in
a moment's notice.
In a moment's notice, and future doesn't matter.
Right.
When you're in that, because now matters.
Yes.
Right. And so kind of future things are potentially sacrificing in that moment to make sure that you maybe have it tomorrow, right? And so when we get stuck there, then we're kind of always in that state of being a wound spring, right? Which is where we get tension in the neck, shoulders, and chest, and get that kind of chronic cold hands and feet, kind of thing. And so by teaching the body to move more to that parasympathetic opposite, rest, relaxation, healing side of the nervous system, right, where we tell the body like, hey, we're safe, there's nothing coming for us, we can relax. It's not something people necessarily get enough of, and so we just want to train the nervous system to be able to move into that sphere.
So what's the difference between like someone who's in that state and they just take a hot bath? Like what's the difference between a hot bath and then actively doing contrast? Because contrast is not fun, right?
Most people don't think contrast is fun. Yeah, so I mean, hot baths are really relaxing, and they feel good, and they definitely have a place, right? Because they do help pull you into that relaxation side of things. The point of the contrast is that it trains both sides, and it trains that transition piece, right? So if you do a hot bath, yes, it's relaxing, and you relax while you're in there, but it doesn't teach your body to kind of switch on that moment's notice between like, okay, we can relax, we can remove tension, we can move into tension, out of it again.
Yeah. Okay, so it trains more of that switching, so that you're more easily able to switch to a relaxed state when next you're stressed. Okay. And okay, I'm going to bring this up because you always hear about these news stories when people do that extreme contrast therapy, especially with getting really, really hot in a sauna and then jumping into like an ice lake. Like, what if someone gets a heart attack when they jump into the ice lake? What do we do? Like, are there people who should not do contrast therapy?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people who shouldn't do it to that extreme.
Okay,
right? I mean, anytime you're jumping into a frozen lake, there's risk.
Right.
Obviously, even the youngest and healthiest of people. And so, yeah, I mean, if you have any heart conditions, especially if you have like a risk for clotting, if you have anything like atrial fibrillation or things like that, cold shocking your body can be a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
And part of that, again, because the therapy really works just on those differences in temperatures, you can be a lot more subtle with it and still have it work.
Yeah.
Right? So you can go, you could go from a 200-degree sauna into a frozen lake. You could also go from a 140-degree sauna into a 60-degree bath. And it should be just a much gentler, kind of easier version of the contrast therapy.
Right.
Much less likely to send someone into shock or cause changes in heart rhythm or.
Yeah. And if someone's never done contrast hydrotherapy before, what should they go for?
You should always start slow. kind of ease into it. Use your own body intuition. You know, again, if you're young and healthy and generally don't have a lot of problems, and you're just like, this seems like a cool thing to try, then it's probably safer to go into a little bit more extreme versus if you have more health problems, if you're older, if you know that if you have something like Raynaud's syndrome where your hands, you know, turn purple when you get cold and they can't warm themselves.
Or if you have like really high blood pressure.
Really high blood pressure, things like that. Just start slow, easy, and you can just work your way up to kind of a bigger extreme as your body gets good at it.
Because again, it's that switching, right? Being able to switch between the two states. If you get yourself up to like a certain response and then your body isn't used to switching to the other state quite as fast, then that can be sometimes be a little dangerous if you have like some pre-existing conditions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's most of everything that we covered there. And again, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the comments and we'll make another video addressing them. Thanks, guys.
Bye.